This is Mr. Gilman. Today we're going to talk about box and whisker plots. Before we get going, we need to first know what the lower quartile is. And we've talked about median before, but specifically today we're going to talk about the median of the lower half of data. Okay, and in the past, before we found the median, we had to put them in order. The same goes for the lower quartile. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by putting our numbers in order. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 again, 6, 6, 6, and 7, and 8. Okay, so once I have my numbers in order, I need to find the median of the lower half of data. So the first thing I need to do is just find where the median is. So I'm going to start crossing out numbers here really lightly. Okay, looks like the middle is at this 4. The median is at 4. But I don't really care about the median. I want to know the lower half of data. If the median is in the middle, I need to now just look at this lower half of data. So I'm going to find the middle of these 5 numbers. So I'm going to start again by crossing out. Looks like my median of the lower half is 2. So the lower quartile is 2. So you're just finding the median and then finding the middle of the lower half of data to find the lower quartile. Now let's talk about the upper quartile. And the upper quartile is very similar to the lower quartile, except for I'm finding the median of the upper half of data. So once again, we have the same problem. So quickly, I'm going to go ahead and put it in order. All the data in order. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. And go ahead and put it in order on your screen too, or on your paper as well. And we'll just start crossing off. And once again, we should find the median to be 4. And it is. There's the median. That's not what we're looking for yet though. What we want to find is the upper quartile. So the upper quartile comes from the median of the upper half of data. So now I'm just looking at these 5 numbers. I'm going to find the median of these. As I'm crossing them out, I notice that the median of the upper half is 6, so under the upper quartile is 6. Now, before we get started drawing our box and whisker plots, you need to know what we're doing. So to begin with, I'm going to order the data from least to greatest. I'm going to find the minimum and maximum values, the median, the lower quartile, and the upper quartile. We've also already talked about the median, or the minimum and the maximum. Those are the smallest and the biggest numbers. Step 3 says we're going to plot the numbers on a number line. Step 4, we're going to draw the box, the whiskers, and a line segment through the median. Okay, all this stuff, it's a lot of stuff to do, but we're going to get through it. So here we go. Okay, we are given 2 sets of data. In set 1 and set 2, they're different numbers. So what we need to do, it says use the data sets to create 2 box and whisker plots. So I'm going to begin by making my first box and whisker plot with set 1. So first thing I need to do is put my numbers in order from least to greatest. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3 6s, 7 and an 8. Okay, and if you notice, this is the problem we've done a few times already. First thing we need to find is the minimum and the maximum. I'm going to say for set 1, my min is 0. My max is 8, and now I need to find the median, the lower quartile, and the upper quartile. All this stuff needs to be on your paper. So I'll begin by finding the median. Now, if we do it right, we should get 4 because we've done this a couple times now. And as you can see, 4 is the median. It's the number right in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and put 4 as my median. Next, I need to find my lower quartile. So I'm looking at just the lower half of data now, finding the median of it. I'm going to start crossing stuff out. Looks like the middle number is 2. So that's my lower quartile, the lower half. To find the upper quartile, I need to use the upper half now. Start crossing things out. I notice that it must be 6. So I have all these values, and what I need to do now is use this data to draw a box and whisker plot. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to start with my minimum at 0. I'm going to draw it. I'm going to put a point right above 0, right directly above it. And then my max is 8, so I'm going to go ahead and put another point right above 8. My median is 4. I'm going to put a dot above 4 as well. My lower quartile is 2. So there's going to be a point right there. And my upper quartile is 6. I'm going to put one right there. Now, if I did it perfectly, I'm going to go ahead and erase that point. Try to make it as straight as you can, because what we're going to do is we're going to connect the dots. So I'm going to connect from this point straight through all my other points, all the way to the other side. So we've started our box and whisker plot. But I don't see any box and I don't see any whiskers yet. So what we need to do is this. The lower quartile, which we said was 2, is the beginning of our box. And the upper quartile, 6, is the top of our box. So we're going to draw 2 lines. We're going to make a big box here. Okay. And now it looks like we're looking good because we have a box and we have a few whiskers on the side. But the last thing we need to do is remember we need to draw our line right through our median. So the lowest point, the smallest, represents the lower, or the minimum. The next point represents the lower quartile. The middle is the median, upper quartile, and finally the maximum. So we've got our first set graphed. Okay, that's a box and whisker plot. Now we need to go on to our second set. I'm going to put the numbers in order from least to greatest. Start with, I need the median, the lower quartile, the upper quartile, the minimum, and the maximum. So before I start, I need to make sure my numbers in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to start with my 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 6, 6, 8, and 9. And so the simple ones to find are the minimum and the maximum. The minimum this time is 2, and the max is 9. My median I need to find still. Since I already have my numbers in order from least to greatest, I can start crossing numbers out. Number left in the middle is the median, 4. The lower quartile is found by getting the median of the lower set of data. So I'm going to look at this set of data. I'm going to start crossing out numbers, figure out what it is. I'm going to say it's 3. The upper quartile, looking at the top half of the numbers, is 6. And so I have everything I need to make a box and whisker plot. I'm going to start with my minimum. I'm going to put it right above 2. I'm going to use my lower quartile, which is 3, right next to it, and my upper quartile, 6. Oh, and my my median is 4, and my maximum is 9. So I need to put all these points as straight as I can, straight across. I'm going to go ahead and connect the dots. Okay, and once you have the dots connected, what you do is you make your box, and your box goes from your lower quartile to your upper quartile. So I'm going to connect those right there, and I'm going to draw a line through my median. So this box and whisker plot looks a little different. It's not quite so symmetrical. And so once I have my 2 data sets and I have box and whisker plots, I can answer the following questions. What is the greatest and least values of set 1? I can look right at my box and whisker plot. Remember, this is set 1. This is set 2. And I can see the smallest part, the minimum value on my box and whisker plot is 0. So I'm going to say 0 is the least. And my box and whisker plot's highest point is at 8. And so I'm going to say 8 is the greatest. The range of set 1. Now we've also talked about range. Remember, the range is the biggest number minus the smallest number. We just agreed that 8 is the greatest number and 0 is the smallest number. So we're going to take 8 minus 0 and we're going to get 8. 8 is the range of set 1. Which set has the greatest median? Well, let's look at our medians. We know it's the median is the point on the box and whisker plot where the line goes straight through the middle. Okay. In this case, it appears that our median is 4 in both of them. So there is no set with the biggest or the greatest median. The sets are equal. Okay. What is the range of the lower 50% of set 2? So now this is a tricky question. I want to look at set 2, which is the top graph, and this is the halfway between, this is the median. This is the halfway point of my box plot. I want to know the range of the lower 50%. So I need to know the highest point on the lower 50%, which is at 4, and the lowest point, which is 2. What is the range between 2 and 4? 4 minus 2 equals 2. So 2 would be the range of the lower 50%. What about the range of the middle 50% of set 2? This to this is the lower 50%. This lower quartile to the upper quartile would be the middle 50%. I know it's the biggest number. In this case, the lower quartile is at, or the upper quartile is at 6, and the lower quartile is at 3. So 6 minus 3 equals 3. Okay, one more time, let me explain that. The middle 50%, every box and whisker plot is separated into percents. Okay, every 2 points represents a 50%. So from here to here is 50%. From here to here is 50%, and from here to here is 50%. Okay, there's 3 different 50%. The bottom half, the middle half, and the top half. If it wants to know the range of the middle 50%, we're going from here to here. And the range is the bigger number minus the smaller number. 6 minus 3 this time is 3.